Hi again. In the previous video I demonstrated how to use a patch up tool to overlay a bit of mesh onto to cover the actual implant bar, those areas that we just couldn't tuck away. You can see that it's not much that we need to lay down, although we have to smooth this area out now. So in the model designer menu you can access the sculpting tool. Here, the sculpting tool, you can shift and right click to put the cursor down and then click on that. Now the sculpting tool is set to Dynotopo, which means that will mimic the mesh geography of the surrounding area. This is not probably the ideal tool to use, and I'm going to just access one of these other tools here. Maybe let us try the smooth tool. So just zoom into the area and then just give that a quick brush over like that. We want to just merge the corners and things like that, just like. And after you've done that, then you can use the flatten. Just flatten it out. Like something like that. This is perfectly in order. From here, just work your way around these areas. Again, I'll just Ctrl Z. I'm going to use the smooth tool first. Go in, if need be, you can right click and then adjust the smoothing tool, the strength, because at the moment it is set quite strong. But this is fine. You can do all of the areas like that, or you can go back and forward and then just flatten out the areas like this. Smooth it and flatten it. Moving over here. Remember, the patch up tool will unify all of these bubbles straight away to the teeth, so we don't need to create another union or anything like that. And then we'll just complete this one, just brushing over there. Two last ones here. I'll just fast forward the video and I'll get back to you on that. Alright, so I've completed the smoothing down of those patch up areas, and looking at the bridge, we don't have any overly bulky areas, so I think the bridge will be fairly comfortable to wear. In actual fact, it's quite amazing to think that within the zirconia bridge we have this titanium implant bar. So I'm going to take this to the finish now. Viewing the case from below, I'll hide the dental model and we'll look at the cutting tool here. So before we do the Boolean operation, we've got to ask ourselves, is the mesh geometry for the implant bridge of good quality? So let us have a look at it in edit mode. Here we can see we have a different consistency of the mesh belonging to the gum than what we have in the tooth structure, and ideally we want to create one uniform mesh throughout the entire bridge. This will ensure that the Boolean operation is successful. It will also make sure that the unit will be able to mill out of zirconia without any problems. So I'm going to tab out of edit mode. With the bridge being selected, I'll go back into the wax up module and then I'll look for one of these voxel remesh buttons. I think a voxel remesh of 0.1 is sufficiently fine, and I'll just press apply. So this is the end result for the bridge, and I think it's really great. So the next question we have to ask is the actual cutting tool made up of a good mesh consistency? So let us have a look at that in edit mode. First I'm going to hide the bridge, and then we will go and look at the mesh here. So looking at the mesh, I'll just tab, and then we're going to look at it in transparent mode like that. So the very top of the implant bar consists of probably a single face that we created earlier on, but keep in mind that this face has been manipulated in many ways, especially when we pulled up this section so that the implant abutment could fit into it. So there's kind of a tension that happens there. The other thing to consider is that, and we've covered that in earlier on, is whether or not there are any inverted vertices. And in the model designer I showed you that we can use this checkbox to check it. So the outside mesh must always be blue, and then the inside mesh will should be red. In this case the cutting tool is a complete object, so it's not just an open mesh, but we can see it's all blue, which is correct. So if you see any red splotches, well, that's going to create a problem and the cut will not succeed. So we did discuss how to remedy those situations. Alright, so the other thing, while we were manipulating the top surface or the face, just go into edit mode again. You can imagine there's a bit of tension that's occurred here. So we'll get rid of that tension. I'm going to select all the vertices in the implant bar by pressing the A key, A for all, and then we'll go to mesh and clean up. So we want to clean up split concave surfaces. So immediately you'll see that we've got some edges that connect these vertices and then down into the parallel bar, and this kind of creates more faces on top, which is probably ideal for the Boolean operation. Again, we will go out of that, out of transparent, and I'll just have another quick check to make sure there's no inverted vertices, which is good. We can exit the face orientation, and then I'm going to bring in our wax up again. Now viewing it from below, this was the second criteria. The next criteria or consideration is to see that the actual cutting tool is not submerged in the actual mesh geometry of the bridge, because the cut will fail as well. So I'm going to tab into edit mode, and wherever you have any doubt in this cutting tool, say it is submerged anywhere, we need to raise that up. So I'm going to use a proportional editing tool again. So using the C, just wipe over a few of those, G and Z, and then I'm going to just raise that ever so slightly like that. And then here we can see it is almost submerged. So again, I'm going to use the C key, wipe over a few of those, and then G and, whoops, let's start again. Go C, select those, and then right click to exit the selection mode, G and Z, and then just lift that ever so slightly. Okay. And here as well, same thing, just select those, and then same thing, G and Z, oops, deselect my previous selection, C here, and G and Z, raise it up ever so slightly. Just going through those areas, that's all clear, and just spend a little bit of time making sure that the cutting tool is sitting above the surface. Alright, I think we're all good. Okay, so I highly recommend you save your work now. So file and then save as, and save that as a .blend file. This will ensure if you need to come back to this point, you can always do this. Going down to the Making Dies menu, where we first started this journey, we're going to select a clearance space between the titanium bar and the zirconia bridge. I'm just going to leave it at 0.2. So from here, I'll just press the Cut Die tab, and then we'll wait for the Boolean operation to complete. Alright, so this has cut out the bar, and to show it, I'm just going to hide the teeth. Here we go. In the next video, I will show you how to connect the connection geometry onto the fitting surface of the implant bar. Alright, thank you for watching this video.